Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to another morning musings. Glad you all could join us. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Um, Mine wasn't the best, but we're not going to worry about that. I ended up getting sick, so I spent the entire day in bed dealing with some issues. But yeah, it kind of sucked. But I'm better now, so we're going to go ahead and get back at it. I want to thank everyone for joining us this morning. I really appreciate it. Sorry about not being live the last couple of weeks. I had a lot of stuff going on here, but hopefully we can get that straightened out and be a little bit more consistent when it comes to the live streams. Again, I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. Shout out to our sponsors, Hatching Time and Go for Ridge Quail. Hatching Time gives us a $50 gift certificate every week to give away on the live streams. And HP Murray over at Go for Ridge donates a 30 count of hatching eggs, which we give away to you guys during the live stream. So if you guys would like to get some hatching eggs this morning, comment Go for Ridge over in the chat room. And if you're interested in a $50 gift certificate, comment Hatching Time over there, and we'll go ahead and select the winners from the comments in there. Let's see what else. I said we had the giveaways. We are going to be announcing the Coturnix Kids winner for the month of December, which is hard to believe. It's already December 1st. We've only got like 25 days left of Christmas. Unbelievable how fast these things come up on us. Let's see. HP Murray's announcements. Good morning, Terry. Let's do something different and give away a 30 count of Egyptian and a 30 count of meat makers. So there you go, guys. We're going to have Egyptians, 30 count of Egyptians, and a 30 count of what do you say? Meat makers? Yeah, meat makers. So go ahead and comment over in the chat room, guys. Go for Ridge if you're interested in either of those. Let's see what else. What have I been doing? I've been staying kind of busy over here doing a lot of ham radio stuff. Built some radios. Been testing them out. I finally got my beacon set up. It's a 10-meter beacon that I set up kind of like a memory type thing for my dad. Got it straightened out and running correctly. And it's doing really well. I'm getting a lot of QSL cards in the mail from people that have seen the beacon. They send these cards. They're just QSL cards people send, and I respond back with a card. It's basically just saying that, yeah, we saw or we heard the beacon, and they give us a signal report and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. My birds are doing well. I got out in the aviary, I've got some birds that I got from HP a while back. I got some Egyptians and some of the meat makers, so I'm really happy. They're doing really good. And also on Thanksgiving Day, I had a whole bunch of little babies hatch out. These came from Naomi over at Kansas City Quail Farm. So Naomi, I appreciate it. The babies are doing good. It looks like I got a mixed batch of everything in there, but yeah, pretty happy with that. And like I say, they hatched out Thanksgiving morning, and I just happened to be sick. I spent the whole day in bed on Thanksgiving, guys. I didn't even get to eat dinner. I ended up having my Thanksgiving dinner the following day. So yeah, that kind of sucked. But all right, let's go ahead and announce the Coturnix Kids winner. I want to say thanks to the judges over at CoturnixCorner.com, who every month they go through and they read all these entries from the kids, and they select a winner for each month. And this month they selected, let's see if I can find it, James. James says he's going to be 10 years old next month. His family found out one of his little sisters is allergic to chicken eggs. So after looking at ducks, his idea, my mom said they're too loud and messy. A friend suggested quail. I told my mom I'd help keep the quail since I'm the one who takes care of the chickens anyway. What's a few more birds? I am the only boy with 4 sisters. Oh boy, who make me do all the dirty work. We just hatched out a bunch of quail babies. I've been checking on them all the time and make sure they have food and water. They're cuter than chickens for sure and way less loud. I mow my neighbor's lawn since Mr. Lou can't walk well, and he sometimes gives me money, which I'm saving for my own mower so I can start a business to help more people in my neighborhood. Good for you. I enjoy helping everyone and making them smile. Plus, I like being outside and building things. And I see it looks like he's on a international tractor there with his little sister. So congratulations. I hope that's not what you're mowing the lawn with. But James, I appreciate you submitting your entry. It's always really nice to go through and read these entries and look at the pictures and the videos and whatnot that you guys submit. So really appreciate that. James, we've got some really nice prizes coming to you. You're going to get a bag of feed from Wholesome Harvest. You're going to get some hatching eggs from, I believe, Southern Biophiliac Farm or Big Spring Quail, one of the two. Bryant's Roost will be supplying an incubator for you. Pips and Chicks and Champions Blend, one of those two will be sending you a gift certificate, Hatching Time gift certificate. And Hatching Time will be shipping out a 2-unit layer cage for you to put together, and that'll give you something to hatch your quail out in. So James, again, I really appreciate it. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, I guess I got to hit remove there. There we go. Really appreciate your entry. If you guys have any, or if any of you guys have kids that would be interested in getting into this program, basically just go over to coturnixcorner.com. At the top nav bar, you'll see a link that says Coturnix Kids Project. Click on that. You can read up all the requirements to get your kids entered. But basically what they got to do is come up with a project that helps other people out or helps the family out. Something that they're working on that they can document and write up a little write-up on it or story on it, send it in, and like I say, our judges go through every month and select a new winner. So James, again, thank you very much and congratulations. Let's see, we got that. We got the giveaways already said. I guess we can go ahead and jump over into the chat room, see who all is joining us today. I am going to try to find a sponsor guy, or not a sponsor, a guest to come on the show with me Tuesday. I haven't done a Tuesday live stream in a while, and that's mainly because I haven't been able to get a guest to be able to commit, probably due to the holidays. Everybody's tied up and busy, and I don't like pushing people, as far as getting this. I'm actually, for those of you who know Klaus Marshall of Paradise Quail, I'm trying to get him to come back on. He's been kind of giving me I don't know if I want to yet, but I'm trying to get him on, and maybe we can do a double with Klaus and Allie from Maine's Confetti Quail Farm. So we'll see how that goes, and see if we can't get a live stream going. But I am going to call my brother-in-law who runs West Michigan Quail. I can't say 100% for sure, but I'm going to see if possibly he can do this Tuesday's live stream with me. Just it'd be nothing fancy, just answer questions and whatnot. He's got a really neat small setup in his backyard. He lives right in the middle of the city, and it's a good example of how people can raise quail in a small lot. I think his lot's like, maybe 50 by 150 or something like that. But he's got a really nice setup. He's got quite a few quail there, and they pretty much take care of themselves as far as being able to make enough money with them to feed them and house them and whatnot. So, all right, let's see who's in the house today. Andy Rabbit says, if I'm awake, I'll be there, but I'm laying down now to sleep. Well, Andy, if you're tired, I think you said you were up really late. So, yeah, we'll forgive you on this one. All right, Tater Farms in the house says, good morning, Terry and the Musings gangs. Oh, how I've missed you. Yeah, I kind of missed doing the lives myself, guys. my first love, I mean, besides quail, is ham radio. I've been doing that all my life since I was like 10 years old. And once I get started on projects that I'm working on, like building radios and setting up beacons, and I'm starting this new thing. It's called POTA, which is Parks on the Air. You take your gear out into a national or state park and you set up, and it's called activating a park. You go out there and you make so many contacts. And once you do, that's considered activating that park. So that's something I'm looking into doing just to kind of keep my retirement a little more interesting, I guess. All Clean Exterior says good morning from West Michigan. Homestead Matters in the house is happy 1st of December to everyone from Eugene, Oregon. Hope everyone had a lovely turkey day. Yeah, I hope you did too. Like I say, mine wasn't the best, but I mean, we had some family come down. A sister-in-law, she actually moved down here to Florida, and she came and stayed the Turkey Day weekend with us, and it was really nice, having somebody come in, and because all the kids are gone. So, all right, Bushman says good morning from New Zealand. Wow, woke up at 3 a.m. to tune in. I'm glad you could join us, Bushman, and to be able to get up at 3 o'clock just to watch the morning musings. That's pretty interesting there. Appreciate that. Dale's in the house. Says good morning, everyone. Glad you could join us, Dale. Blazing Gale says good morning, everyone. Hope y'all had a lovely holiday. You too. Nona Pepper says good morning. Downskins in the house says good morning from South Mississippi. Oh, Lord, here's another one. Rebecca Anderson says good morning, 1 a.m. from Australia. Wow. Bunch of people from over in the pond. Kurt's in the house says good morning from West Michigan. Glad you could join us, Kurt. Heather says, hey, Terry, hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Heather Brooks, South Carolina. Yeah. I tell you what, I got more sleep on Thanksgiving Day than I had in a long time, but unfortunately it was being sick sleep, but yeah, things happen, I guess. And it really, I wasn't sick, guys. I had some type of a reaction I guess it's a side effects of the blood pressure medication that I'm on. Long-term use can cause some issues. Well, I guess I hit that long-term use because it really caused some issues. Bushman says, good day, Rebecca. Nice to see another Southern Hemisphere quail fanatic on. Absolutely. Buck Reynolds in the house says, good morning. Hope you all are well, as are you. Mr. Miguel's in the house, says, hola, glad you could join us, Miguel. Dragon Girl's joining us today, says, good morning from the Pacific Northwest. Glad you could join us. Yeah, I got a few people saying sorry to hear you were on the list. Yeah, we got over it. I mean, I'm actually kind of relieved that it wasn't being sick because I hate to get sick. And that it was just, a weird side effect of medication, but it wasn't very enjoyable. I can tell you that, guys. Mike says, good morning from Edgewater, Florida. Glad you could join us, Mike. That's a nice looking buck there on your profile thing. Hey, Cookie, what are you doing back there? Huh? Okay, we've got a bunch of people hollering Gopher Ridge. We will come back to that when we select our winners. Again, if you guys are just joining us, if you're interested in possibly getting some hatching eggs from Gopher Ridge Quail, comment Gopher Ridge over in the chat room. Or if you could use a $50 gift certificate from Hatching Time, comment Hatching Time, and we will select from those people or from those comments, whoever is going to be the winner. 340 Quail Farm says, good morning, everyone. Mount Dora, Florida, checking in. Glad you could join us. HP Murray's in the house. I already read this one, but again, we're giving away 2 30 count of hatching eggs, 30 count of Egyptians, and a 30 count of meat makers. Let's see. Whole bunch of comments. Bob Cole's in the house. Glad you could join us. Bob says, good morning. Well, good morning, Bob. Glad you're up and able to join us today. Kogolian says, you're awesome, HP. Absolutely. HP is. Tater Farm says, you're amazing. Let's see here. Here's a comment for HP. It says, HP, your sparkly ferals went outside 2 weeks ago and are beautiful. I love their coloring. Thanks. Yeah, they are. They're really nice birds. Homestead Matters says, this secret project from Naomi, huh? Yeah, I actually, it got a little bit delayed. There was a little bit of confusion between me and Naomi, and she actually sent me a mixed batch and not what I was looking for. But I did contact her, and she's going to straighten that out and get the first step of this project that I want to work on. She's going to get those shipped out to me in the next couple of weeks, I guess. Tater Farm says, love my Gopher Ridge jumbo white wings. They're the best little birds. Corgolian says, I'm trying to get my neighbors into Coturnix kids, but don't know if anyone has bitten yet. Yeah, some people, some kids, when you hear they got to, send in a picture or a video or write up something, they're a little bit shy and they don't want to be on there. You don't have to submit photos or anything, but it is nice, to have something to go along with the write up. And some parents don't want, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but 90% of these, we don't read the kid's last name. We only read off their first name, because people don't want their kids, information out there on the net. So, and I can't blame them. Dragon Girl says, congrats, James. Homestead Matter says, oh, what a sweet kid. You go, James. Props for the parents for raising kids right. Congrats. Exactly. Kids nowadays don't know how we had it back when we were young, and unfortunately, a lot of parents don't. And I can't condone them for it, but we were raised in a different generation. We had a different set of morals, I think, than a lot of kids do today, or actually, I should say, what a lot of parents do today, because it seems to me a lot of the parents don't raise kids, like they should. I probably shouldn't go there and say that stuff, but I see it every day and it drives me nuts. Laser Gale says, congratulations, him. Sounds like a great kid. Absolutely. Congratulations, James. Welcome to the community. Sundial Fragrance says, congrats. Gage Garrett's in the house. Says, howdy. Good morning, Terry. Glad you could join us, Gage. Heather says, yes, love Allie and Klaus. Yeah, I do too. They're great. Like I say, I can't guarantee anything on them. One, I know Allie is really busy right now. She's got a few changes that she's making in her life. And if she's got time, I'm sure I can get her to come back on the show. Klaus, he's another story. Him, I'm going to have to work on, but we'll do it. Homestead Matter says, what about Meet the Sponsor series? Hey, HP, looking at you. I've actually reached out to HP a couple times, and HP's a busy man. If he ever decides to come on the show, he knows he's more than welcome. So hopefully we can get him on here. But that's a good idea. Maybe I will reach out to the sponsors and see who wants to come on the show, or maybe we can do like a group. Bring them all on at the same time. But HP, I want to get him on by himself, because I want him to let everybody know what Gopher Ridge is all about. And I'm sure HP could tie up a good hour just doing that. Let's see. Great idea. Tater Farm says, great idea. Our Farrell says, good morning from Titusville, Florida. Glad you could join us. Maury Straubel's in the house. Says, good morning, everyone. I don't know if you were here earlier, Maury, but I mentioned I might reach out to you and see if you're available Tuesday to do a live stream with me, just to hang out and talk. about your quail and what's going on with them now and whatnot. So get a hold of me later on. Let me know. Heather says, "Good morning, Terry. Hope you have a speedy recovery here from South Carolina." Yeah, I mean, I'm already better. It's just what I did was I stopped taking my blood pressure meds um, until Monday. I'm going to call my cardiologist tomorrow and let him know what happened and see if he can prescribe something different than what I've been on. But yeah, I stopped taking them and it cleared right up. The problem I was having went away immediately. Gargolian says, "I feel you on the BP meds effects. Glad you're feeling better." It's funny is I've been taking that medication for 2 years and never had a problem with it. But I remembered after I got sick, I remembered that at first I thought it was food poisoning, but then I remembered that when I first was put on the medication, I read that this medication, which is amlodipine, can have long-term side effects that don't manifest themselves until you've been taking it for a while. So I think that's probably what happened. Like I say, I'm 100% better now. So let's see. Tater Farm says, "Good morning, Maury. Would love to see you on the live with Terry on Tuesday." Yeah, we'll see what happens. See what we can do. I don't know if he's working or not, so no promises. I have a question about quail. I have a couple female quail who have not laid eggs. Always real spooky, even though the other quail are fine with me handling them. What's going on? Um, I don't know where you're at, Bushman, but right now we're in the short daylight hours, the winter daylight hours. None of my birds are laying, and I haven't added any supplemental light to them. I probably won't until after the first of the year, or probably actually until like February or March. I'm just growing them out, getting them up to size, and then once the daylight hours start getting longer, you need like 14 to 16 hours of daylight to get them to lay. Um, then I'll go ahead and supplement a little bit of lighting just to keep them laying. But as far as a couple quail that are spooked, that happens. You may have something that is getting coming around your quail that don't bother the bulk of your quail, but you have a few of them that get stressed out over anything, whether it's you know a pet that you may have, or even if birds in the cage are getting other birds are being aggressive towards them, that can cause them to be spooky because they're constantly on the move trying to run from that aggression. So that can cause them to be a little bit spooked here and there. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really worry about it that much if it's just a couple birds are like that. But like I say, if you get a lot of birds that are spooking all the time, then check their environment, see what's going on around them, as far as any predators and whatnot. Herbalane says, "I see a doggo." Yeah, that's my Cookie. She's down on the ground now. That's little Cookie. Heather says, "Cookie's rocking that shirt too cute." My wife puts shirts on all our poodles when it gets chilly, and we dropped down in, I think, the low 50s last night. So all of them had their little sweaters on, and like they don't really need it, but she likes it. So what the heck? Ah, Halangula. Let's see, Langula. I don't know. Hi from South Africa. Glad you could join us. Boy, we're getting a lot of overseas visitors today. That's really great. Not talking to me. Jody Parker says, "Good day from Western Australia." There's another one. Wow. Bob says, "Question, my birds are 2 years maximum. I found dead birds in several hutches, no signs of damage or predators. Is that common?" Um, no, it's not common. I mean, yes, you're going to have deaths every now and then. It could have been, I won't say one of a million things, but usually I find out if I end up with a dead bird that I don't see any signs of another bird being aggressive or anything. It's usually a bird ended up getting spooked and they flush and end up hitting their head on the top of the enclosure, and it knocks them out or it takes them out. That's usually, like I say, if I don't see any sign of, aggression or a bird being sick, that's usually what it is. So I would just look over the birds and see, you know, if they don't have any issues with them. No sign of damage or predators is that common. Yeah. And as long as it's not a lot of birds, to where it could, be something potentially pathogenic, I don't think I would worry too much about it. Heather says, Naomi's so amazing. She's really full of information, as is Allie and Klaus. Yeah, Naomi is. She's great. And I wish she wasn't as busy as she is, because I'd love to get her to come back on the live stream. She's done a couple of live streams on here. And yeah, wealth of information. I mean, Naomi goes out and does these school classroom presentations with her kids. It's really amazing. So yeah, maybe we can get her back on here. Question, I'm building a brooder like your roll under cage unit. What size for 30 to 60 chicks? That brooder that I built was pretty big. I want to say it was 40 inches wide by 24 inches deep. And I had a divider down the middle. I'd put 100 birds in each side. For, what'd you say, 30 to 60? For 30 to 60 chicks, I think I would just go to Walmart, buy one of those plastic, it's 105 quart Sterilite tub, and make a top for it out of either quarter or half-inch hardware cloth. And they work perfect. I mean, I put straight out of the incubator, I would put 60 chicks in those tubs, and that would hold them for about a week. So then they start growing pretty quick. And then I would just start either culling, or I would just start splitting them into multiple tubs. I don't even have that big brooder that I had before. I actually gave it away. It was just too big, and I have a lineup of those tubs. I had like half a dozen of those Sterilite tubs that I would use for brooders, and they work just fine. Let's see. Keyword, hello from Estonia. Wow, another one. What is it with all these overseas people? I'm so glad you guys could join us. I'm wondering what, well, it's got to be early in the morning over there. Let's see. Jody says, those in the Southern Hemisphere, are you finding that quail keeping is not very common? Most of the best info comes from the USA. I don't know. Maybe Jody can respond to that. I do know quite a few people in Australia that keep quail. Yeah, here's Bushman says he's from New Zealand and it's common over there. But yeah, I know a lot of people from Australia that keep them. I think maybe it's just that a lot of those over in Australia maybe don't have as big of a internet presence as we do here in the States. Seems like everybody here that's all they do. They're online all the time. So I don't know. Jody says, lucky you, Bushman. I'm in Perth and there doesn't seem to be many here. Huh, that's strange. Gage says, are you taking any more sponsors? Gage, you can reach out to me if you want. We're actually not at this time. I mean, I've got plenty of sponsors for the Coturnix Kids Project, and HP and Hatching Time are the only two sponsors for the regular live streams, just because they give us, well, one, HP he's an amazing guy, but they give us stuff to give away to you guys. I'm not looking for sponsors to help pay for anything. It's basically just for giveaways and whatnot. So, but yeah, reach out to me over on either Facebook Messenger or email me, whatever. We'll talk. Heather says, Jennifer cracks me up. That would be amazing if you could get everyone on here. Yeah, we'll see. I'll reach out to them, and put the bug in there and see who's up for it. I know Jennifer Bryant, she's always up to coming on the show. Matter of fact, she was on here not too long ago. So yeah, we'll reach out to them and see what they think. Bushman said, I would keep an eye out on sales pages and join some avian societies. Sometimes it's a tight, quiet circle of people who breed and sell birds. Agreed. JJ says, hope you feel better. Start following carnivore doctors. You need salt for your blood pressure. It will change your life. Start following carnivore doctors. Yeah, my blood pressure really isn't that bad. I have a thing called white coat syndrome. Every time I go into the doctor, my blood pressure can be, 120 over 80 an hour before I go to my doctor, my cardiologist, and as soon as I walk in there, it'll go sky high. I mean, it'll go like 150 over 90, and they want me on the BP meds, but I can control it at home just basically with diet and whatnot. I guess I'm just keeping my cardiologist happy. Bushman says, unsure if eggs could even be sent over from here. I forgot where you said you were, Bushman. Yeah, I mean, people ship overseas all the time. It's just, I know from talking to a few breeders in Australia, it's very expensive to do it legally. So, yeah. Heather says, prayers with you, hon. Do you have withdrawals from the bottom meds? What are bottom meds? No, this is the first time I've ever had an issue with medication. Like I say, the amlodipine, that is one of the things that I checked into 2 years ago when I first started taking it, because I wanted to know what the side effects were in case I experienced anything of them. And I noticed that they did say that long-term use of amlodipine can cause some side effects, which are okay, blood pressure meds. Yeah, could cause some side effects. So I guess I just got to that point to where my body said, no, we've had enough. It was terrible. I mean, I got, besides stomach issues, I had muscle spasms in both legs. I mean, I'm sure if any of you guys have had muscle cramps or muscle spasms in your legs, you know how much it hurts. This was in both legs, and it seemed like every muscle, the top of my thighs, the inside of my thighs, the calves, everything, the bottom of my feet, they would just, lock up tight. I couldn't even get up. So, yeah, it was a crazy day. I can tell you that much. But after, I didn't take my meds that day, and by the next morning, I was fine. I could move around, and stomach stopped bothering me and everything. So, all right, where are we at? Homestead Matter says, we were at a friend's gathering, had several people comment, we are tough on our toddlers for insisting on please and thank you. Yes, exactly. The bar has been set so low anymore. I agree 100%. I mean, I see it all. To me, it's almost like they want to spoil their kids, but yeah, spoil them, but you've got to teach them some values. They've got to understand that not everything goes their way, and not everything is handed to them just because they stomped their feet and cried. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't want to tell anybody how to raise their kids, but I can tell you one thing. If I did a half of what kids nowadays do, I'd be out behind the rabbit hutch with a switch with my old man, and it wasn't fun. Let's see. Jody says, Bushman, I found it's the same dozen or so backyard breeders, and they are sporadic. Western Australia. Custom doesn't let anything in. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Let's see. All clean exteriors. How many molts will Quail go through before it gets its adults feathers fully? I noticed at least two. Usually you have actually you can count that three, a pre and a postnatal molt. Their prenatal molt happens fairly early. Their postnatal molt is when, and you'll know it because you'll go out there and the babies aren't even 3 weeks old, and there's all these little feathers everywhere. They're just, they're molting then. But then usually about 8 weeks or so, 6 to 8 weeks, mine go through another molt. And those are the birds that I have out in the aviary. Matter of fact, I just noticed the ones that are out there now. There were a ton of feathers out there. They were molting, and they finally got in their adult plumage, and a lot of them look really, really nice. So yeah, that's one thing I kind of look forward to is after the molt. That's when I like to select my breeders. It gives me a better idea of how they're going to look phenotype wise. Let's see. Heather says, I'm having massive owl attacks. What do you recommend? It's a question for everyone and yourself. Yeah, I mean, good luck with that. You know, there's not a whole lot you can do when it comes to birds of prey. I'm sure you're in the U.S. And they're protected. I mean, we have red shoulder hawks around here quite a bit. And what I did on mine was I've got a tarp that covers the top of the aviary, so the bird, they can't see them from above. And then on the outside of the aviary, I covered the wire with lattice, that white lattice. And I haven't had any issues with the hawks. You know, they don't want to, they either don't know about the birds or they can't see them or they're not interested. I don't know. But my biggest problems is cats. We have a ton of feral cats around here. And it's like, you know, every day I'm out there shooing the cats away from my birds. Corgolin says, I still want a poodle one day. We'll be breeding Cookie on her next heat. She actually skipped a heat. That was pretty weird. She had her puppies back in the end of June, I believe it was. So we were expecting her to go into heat in November, and it just didn't happen. So I don't know. But yeah, her next heat will definitely be breeding her again. Megan's in the house. Says hi from Maryland. Glad you could join us, Megan. Jody says, Heather, I recently lost 5 quail to an hour. Didn't grab them, just scared the poor things to death. Yeah, that's why I worry about them cats, because every once in a while I'll hear my quail, you know, the aviary's 8 foot high on one end, 6 on the other. And every once in a while at night, I'll hear the birds flush, you know, and they're going up and hitting the roof of the aviary. So yeah, right now I'm working on some plans on keeping the feral cats away. I don't know how well it's going to work, but let's see. Vi says, hi, good morning. I'm new followers. Can I buy some birds from you or Egyptian quail eggs, 30 pieces, please? Okay. We do giveaways here on the channel. So, I mean, if you're lucky enough for that, it is US only giveaways. We don't ship out of the country for that, but yeah, I don't know anybody in here. I don't know who sells hatching eggs in here other than like our sponsors, Go for Ridge Quail. So yeah. And it says, Jody, it's crazy. They're netting all around the coops. Bushman says, an owl, really? Quail are on the lowest food chain. You know, we have, and Heather says it's a great horned owl. We have a lot of bald eagles around here. And believe it or not, I would have never thought it, but owls attack the bald eagles and actually steal the young, the chicks out of the nest at night. And I haven't, I say we, there's an eagle cam local here that a lot of people watch. And actually, I think it's like nationwide, but anyhow, they have caught video of an owl coming in, swooping in and grabbing one of the chicks out of the nest and taking off. And the parent bird, which was sitting on a branch, you know, a couple feet away, was helpless to do anything. Okay, Bushman says I lost 5 quail chicks because a cat learned how to knock the lid off the incubator. Only issue I've had. Yeah, I've never really had an issue either. I mean, of all the birds that I kept outside, whether they were in the aviary or in the grow-out cage, I've never had predators get in and kill any of the birds. My neighbor now, I gave him, or actually I gave his granddaughter some eggs to hatch out, and they live up in Port Charlotte. And they, I guess, have a rat problem. And all her birds, the rats went up through the bottom of the cage and pulled the birds' legs through the wire and chewed them off and ended up killing all her birds. But I've never had a problem here, knock on wood. You know, it's just, I guess we're lucky. All right, where are we at here? Gage says you should start a poll or something to see where everyone watches from. Yeah, there you go. It's a good idea. I don't know. I mean, some people, I guess, I try to post it over in Facebook on the Facebook group page, and I usually post like 10 minutes before I go live. I'll comment in there just so it's up top. So maybe people are, catching it there. But yeah, it's interesting that, I mean, today we've got a lot of people from overseas, and it could be too, being the Sunday is always a weekend, but or the morning musings is always on a weekend, but maybe because it's a holiday weekend, more people are off, able to get up early and check in. CWH number one says, I think it would be neat if you could find a quail producer from another country to have a live stream with, could share and compare. Yeah, I did get a few people, not well, yeah, I mean, we've had Tamara Roselle on here. She's from Australia. Katie Agali, another one from Australia. They're on opposite ends of the country. They've come on and done live streams with me. The problem with it is I'm going live at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays. That is 6 or 7 a.m. Wednesday for them. So they've got to get up early. Tomorrow's got children, so it's kind of hard to get everything set up to where, because, she's got to find somebody to watch the kids or get them up and get them ready for school before the live stream. So, yeah, I mean, I love having people from overseas come on because it, lets everybody know how, people do things over there. So, yeah, it's always interesting. Let's see. Dane says, good morning from Georgia, listening while doing my morning chores, expecting baby rabbits this morning. Cool. And hatched out new quail a few days ago. Very nice. How's everybody loving this weather? It seems like half the country is frozen and the other half's overheated. But I mean, we got chilly for us. I mean, we're going down into the 40s tonight. So yeah, I meant to mention that earlier on. I hope everybody's birds are doing all right. I mean, quail usually do really good in the cold, but let's see. Heather says these overseas folks need to send us some eggs. LOL. I've seen some great mutations in colors. Yeah, we get Kai Pepler. He's from Germany. He ships here quite a bit. Matter of fact, a lot of HP's stock originated from Germany. His sparkly lines and whatnot. So yeah, it would be nice. Like I can't remember who said it. That Australia's. I don't know if Australia is shipping out. Jody said that, but I think she said they weren't allowing shipments in. But yeah, it would be nice. As a matter of fact, they must be able to get eggs out of Australia because we now have the Oz Snowies here in the States. So somebody obviously shipped them out of Australia into the U.S. Gage says, I wonder what other different genes or plumages are overseas. I mean, I know that the Oz snowy lines were stuff that a lot of people wanted. Michael Rose ended up with them. Rebecca Lynch from Thieving Otter Farm is selling them now. I think in the near future you're going to see a lot more of them. I don't know of any other plumage colors that are. I don't really pay attention a whole lot to colors anymore. I'm more working on meat and egg stuff, but I'm not sure exactly. I do know that there are a few different colors because I remember Katie Agali was mentioning it to somebody that we don't have that color over in the U.S. It's only available in Australia. So yeah, I'm sure there's some stuff out there that we haven't seen or aren't able to get. So Tater Farm says, hey, Dane, we're east of Athens, Georgia. What breed of rabbits do you have? We'll be looking for rabbits in the spring. Bushman says, I mainly keep Pharaohs, Italians, Golds, and Tuxedos. That's where I'm kind of leaning to getting back to. When I first started out, quail was nothing more to me than meat and eggs. And then I started getting into some genetics through Klaus and Allie both convinced me to to get some colored birds and whatnot. So anyhow, but now that I don't have the number of birds that I used to have or the space to keep them, I'm thinking about just going back to working on a decent meat line and egg line and just stick with that. Let's see, Jody says, of 8 birds, I have 4 wild browns, 3 Italians, and 1 that I would call cinnamon. She's a dirty beige, LOL. She's a dirty bird. Yeah, that's nice. I know the cinnamons are available here in the U.S. I know Michael Rose was selling them for a while. If I'm not mistaken, they're a little bit more difficult to keep and breed because of I don't know if it's a sensitivity or what, but Michael was telling me he actually offered them to me, and but he told me, he said, you know, you just gotta. Actually, he was back then. He was only selling them to experienced keepers because he knew that they took a little more effort to keep them going, you know, successfully. So, but yeah, they're here in the U.S. now. I'm not sure exactly where they came from, but. All right, 340 Quail Farm says, hey, Terry, have you had any eggs cracked during incubation besides the horrible smell? Has this affected the hatch rate any as far as an increase in humidity, etc.? No, it hasn't. I have had it, yes. But usually once I set my eggs, I don't open the incubator until I'm ready to put them into lockdown. And like you say, you go ahead and open the incubator up and you smell that dead egg. And yeah, I will go through and try to find that egg as I'm candling and putting them into lockdown. But yeah, no, I've never had anything, you know, like a bacterial infection go through the incubator. I've never had any issues. I don't think one cracked egg could actually raise your humidity up, you know, that much higher. But you definitely want to find the egg and get it out of there, and then when you're done with the incubation, go through and really disinfect the incubator to make sure that, you know, there is no bacteria breeding in there. Fred says, what's the disadvantage of using medicated feed? I mean, the quail really don't need it. So I don't know why you would want to use it. I mean, I think the medicated feed's a little bit more expensive than the unmedicated, but like I say, the quail don't need to have the feed medicated. So I wouldn't feed it to them. I mean, if that's all you can get, you know, say you go to pick up a bag of feed and they were out of the non-medicated, yeah, medicated will be fine for you know, for 1 bag of feed, but I don't think I would keep them on medicated feed. Do you give your birds cord as preventative? No. As far as I know, and I've been told, maybe I see Anita's in the house. Maybe she can answer this. Quail don't normally contract. What am I thinking of? Oh, come on. Somebody give me a hand here. My old brain's not thinking. But no, I don't. That's why you don't give medicated feed. And that's why also why I don't give cord. You know, there's no need to treat for something that they normally can't get. Come on, what is it? Man, I feel stupid. Nita Garrett's in house says, sorry I'm late. Hello, everyone. Glad you could join us, Anita. It's been a while. And not for you, but for me. I've kind of been slacking on the live streams due to staying busy with other projects. Home Says Matter says, we have a backyard car. When we first brought in Quail, I literally told him, these are my birds, not your birds. I feed you and you leave these birds alone. So far, so good. Thank God I have a backyard cat. There you go. It's got to be cat, not a car. I've never had a backyard car. I don't think these cats, they're not my cats. I don't think these feral cats would listen to me. Matter of fact, I set a live trap out there and catch them and relocate them. I'm not going to kill a cat just because, you know, I mean, he's looking for food just like everything else. So Vi says, I'm from Minnesota. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to buy eggs, I would recommend HP Murray over at Gopher Ridge Quail. Bushman said cats are a pain in the butt. Yep, they are. Yeah, I recently caught some neighborhood outdoor cats, feral ones, stalking my coop. Thankfully, it's pretty secure and they can't get to them. Yeah, mine is too. Mine's really secure. I'm not worried about them getting in with my birds, but I don't like the idea that the birds are getting spooked and flushing. I don't want a bird to die just because he's freaking out. Heather says, I'm thinking about using foam on the inside coop so they don't break their necks. What's your thoughts? they're aw, they're they're pretty if they're going to flush and hit something, I don't think that foam is going to protect them any. I mean, I've had birds fly up and hit. Well, I mean, the roof of my aviary, like I said, is 8 foot down to 6 foot, and it's just loose chicken wire. So they fly up and they hit that, and then they push it up, and they come down. And I don't know, in 5 years, maybe lost 3 birds due to that. On a lower cage, I don't know. Like say you've got 12 to 15-inch high cage. I don't know that would really help any. When I'm thinking of foam, I'm thinking of that pink foam that I use for the incubators, and that's pretty stiff. It would probably still do damage. Maury says, Stone hears your voice and watches. Hi, Stone. Stone is one of Cookie's puppies that my sister and Maury adopted. Jody says, I hope the predators would continue to eat the bandicoots and rats in my area, but they obviously think quail is a buffet and less work. Yep. I don't even know what a bandicoot is. Got to be some strange Australian predator. Bandicoot. Never heard of it. Gargolian says 32 here when I woke up. Yeah, it was a little chilly out this morning when I had to take the dogs out, and people laugh at me because it was, chilly. It was low 50s. It was like 51 when I got up this morning. Bushman says everything tries to get at the quail. I find having some solar lights up can keep predators away overnight. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, if you gotta run supplemental lighting, you might as well supplement them late in the evening, keep the predators down. Oh Lord. Minus 11 degrees here in North Dakota. That's ridiculous. You can have that. Le Petit. I put lights on the quail for about a week now, running them 4 hours in the evening, but still no eggs. How many hours of light do the quail need to lay eggs? Between 14 to 16. Yeah, and if it's only, you say it's only been a week. Once you bump it up to where you've got, say, 16 hours of daylight, give it at least 2 or 3 weeks before expecting to get some eggs. It can't happen before that, but it just takes the birds a little while to get adjusted to that extended daylight. Bushman says 14 to 16. There you go. Jody says, yes, Bushman, I've taken to leaving soft lights on overnight too. My quail are on a covered patio right up against the house. There you go. Bushman says, Jody, at least I don't have to worry about snakes. That's true. Corgolia, most of my covey right now is Oz Snowy, and those were the first eggs I hatched. Cool. Bushman, I live on a bush property for 30 years and only seen one snake. I have a mini horse stomping around the place, though. Okay. Bob says, did Michael move from Arizona to Texas? He did. He's in the process of moving. I'm not sure where exactly he stands now. He's trying to sell his home in Arizona. Like I say, I don't know if he sold it yet or not. And he's in a temporary housing in Texas until he gets his place in Arizona sold, and then he'll be becoming more permanent in Texas. So, yeah, I'm waiting for Michael to get, all his stuff taken care of, because I'd really like to get him back on the show. And I'm waiting I've got a request for some hatching eggs from him. So once he gets settled in, I'm sure we'll be seeing more of Michael. Oh, wow. Bushman says, I visited Perth once, and on the second day, there was a snake in the toilet bowl of the B&B. Wow. Bushman, we do have a lot of snakes, especially the tigers. I don't know what a tiger snake looks like. And a Bishop's in the house. Morning, Terry. Do you incubate during your Florida winter? Yeah. Yeah. When I had all my birds on the carport, when they were all in the enclosed carport area, yes, I incubated eggs year round. The only thing during the winter months, obviously, I need to watch humidity a little bit more. Coccidiosis. Thank you, Jason. Can't believe I couldn't remember that word. Yeah, in the wintertime, matter of fact, I just did a hatch that hatched out on Thanksgiving Day. I just have to keep an eye on the humidity a little bit more because it will dry it out a lot more during the first 14 days. And then I really need to fill up all the water trays to get it up, around 60%. So yes, answer to your question is yes. Can't believe I couldn't remember coccidiosis. Tater Farm says East of Athens, Georgia is supposed to get down to 22 on Wednesday morning. Tarped over the coop and added straw. Anything else I should be doing? As long as you can break the wind, the birds will be fine. They don't need it's not the temperature that'll kill them. It's being exposed to the elements like, wind, rain, snow, stuff like that. So yeah, just put up a wind block or a place where they can get out of the elements and they'll do just fine. And I have the exact opposite down here that I have to do. I mean, summertime gets really, really hot. So I've got to make sure that one, the birds are in the shade. Two, there's some type of air movement. So yeah, same thing, just opposite end of the spectrum. Sundial Fragrance says, what do you think about Celadon quail? I just put some Celadon eggs in the incubator. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm not sure the number I hatched. I think I got 35 out of 60. They were Celadons that just hatched out Thanksgiving Day. So I'm not really interested in the Celadon layers, but I am interested in a certain color. So I had to take those. But yeah, Celadons are okay. I mean, there was a while, or there was a time when it was going around that Celadon layers or the Celadon gene caused issues with birds, like failure to thrive, laying issues, just all kinds of issues with them. But Michael Rose kind of really looked into that and really tried breeding it out. He was doing a lot of selective breeding and pretty much, I won't say 100%, but pretty much eliminated those problems. So yeah, I mean, if you like the egg color, and that's something you want to do, yeah, go for it. Anita says they can get it, however, it's rare, usually contracted when raised on the ground. There's a good study about it. I don't have the link. Look up Seminole and Coturnix quail using Google Scholar. Yeah, I've heard from a lot of people that, because I asked the same question. I had chickens at one time out in my yard, and I had chickens in my aviary. So I was worried about putting the quail out there. And quite a few people told me that even if your chickens had coccidiosis and you put your quail in there, odds are, I mean, yeah, obviously they can get it, but odds are they're not going to pick it up because quail normally don't. So knock on wood, I haven't had any issues yet, and they won't. But still, I wouldn't treat my birds with Corid just because you're worried about preventing something. I wouldn't use Corid as a preventative. Okay, Jody says bandicoots are small animals. They look like large rats. There you go. Okay. Getting ready to groom a Maltipoo and a Chihuahua. Cool. My sister does a lot of that. She grooms Well, she grooms her poodles plus other people's dogs. Let's see. Oh, more Texas people. Let's see. Raymond says in the 30s here in Texas, I have a small heater in the room where the quail are, and it keeps it in the 60s, doing just fine and laying well. Still just put 116 eggs in the incubator yesterday. Cool. Sundial says, question, any idea how to get rid of small possums other than trapping them? I had problems with one. He was sneaking between the cage and tray, pulling their legs off. See, that's weird because I've never had an issue with possums. I did have an issue one time with raccoons, but never with possums. No, I would live trap them and take them away from your area if you've got that big of a problem with them. I can't think of anything that you could do that would just get them to, leave on their own, except maybe get a dog or something, if you want to go that route. But Bushman, there you go, says, Sundial, I would cover the tray overnight so they cannot reach up. Dane Paget's in the house. Says, hey, Taylor Farm, I have Rex rabbits with or without pedigree. I'm just getting started this year, and I love them as much as I love quail. I did a lot of rabbits when I was a kid. My dad was really into rabbits, and he made me take care of them. Heather says, my Celadon are cuddle teddy bears. When I clean the coop, they run to the door, and I put them in my hoodie pockets, and they poke their heads out to watch. They were my little love bugs. Oh, how cool. Corgolian says, yes, I'm a groomer. It's fun when dogs want to cooperate. When they don't, it's amusement park level fun. Yeah, I will do Cookie. My wife does most of it, but for some reason, Cookie doesn't like my wife messing with her legs, so I end up having to do her legs and the bottom of her feet. But yeah, they can be fun. You're welcome, Sundial. State Farm talking to Dane says, thinking about going with California whites or New Zealand for size. We'll be breeding for meat, so pedigree wouldn't be a consideration. We had New Zealands too. We also did satins. My dad was a big satin show person. And the satins were pretty much every bit as big as the New Zealand whites. Although I don't know now, I haven't done rabbits in 30 some odd years, but yeah, the satins were cool. We had red satins and they were beautiful. Just gorgeous animals. Bushman says, Heather, it sounds so cool. I've only managed to get them to sit in my hand, but run when it's cleaning day. The only thing I do with my quail, I don't pick them up and play with them or anything. Out in the aviary, I will go out there and sit, and have a cup of coffee with them, or when I'm feeding them, I'll hang out in there for a while with them. And they're pretty much, they have no fear of me because they know that, I'm their source of food. But I don't get into holding them and whatnot. Okay, Bushman says, Terry, I want to thank you for your quail hutch build videos. Absolutely. Have your videos and built mine like yours. Wealth of knowledge and enjoy your videos. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. When we started the channel, I just wanted to share the stuff. I was doing so much stuff for me. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to record this, put it on a YouTube channel. And if people like it, they like it. If not, well. And the channel went ballistic. I mean, I think we're close to, let me look over here. Yeah, 58,000 subscribers already. Who'd have thunk? Hannah says, I raise pedigree Siamese satins and Tamuks. It's funny. I never heard of Tamuks until, I think, who was it? Chris Carnes over at Slightly Redneck. He mentioned it one day on the live stream. I'm like, what the heck's a Tamuk? And then he told me, and Siamese satins, I don't think I remember Siamese satins back when we were doing the rabbits. I'm talking from back in the 70s, guys. So I don't know if Siamese were yet sanctioned as a satin or not, but yeah, a lot of new colors. I'm like, they've got blue satins. Obviously the whites and the reds, the blacks. I really like the satins. I thought they were really, really nice looking rabbits. Raymond says, I had a possum in with my Buff Orpington hens. I heard cackling at 3 a.m., went out and ran him off. Had to patch the coop. He ripped the wire off the backside. It's fine, thank goodness. Oh, wow. I wouldn't think a possum could tear through the wire, but I guess they can. Like I say, I've never had any issues with them. Rebel says, hello, all. Tony from Virginia. Thank you for your channel and information. I'm new to Quail and started with your pen plans. They work great. Cool. Glad that they're helping. Oh, and for those of you who have looked into the Terry line of incubators, the kits that we're selling, I'm actually working on a Terry 2.0, which is going to release sometime after the first of the year, probably sometime closer to March. Still working. I got to work on some of the details, and I want to run it through a series of tests before we make the kits available. But it's going to be I won't say a new twist, but it's going to be some what I call improvements over the ones that we currently sell. Heather says, Chris rocks. I'm obsessed with his coops. Okay. Yeah, we've done quite a few different types of quail cages. And for the most part, they've all worked pretty good. Bushman says, I'm planning on doing some uploads of my quails, where they live and how I look after them, and tell you their names. There you go. All right, guys, that brings us down to the bottom of the list. I think there's one more thing I need to do. It's after 10 o'clock, so time for me to get to work. I need to go back up here and find someone to take some hatching eggs. Guys, if I call your name, I need you to email me your shipping information to Terry at Coturnix. Did I spell it right this time? Corner.com. And make sure you give me, I need a good address, a good email address, and a good phone number in case the shipper needs, or the HP needs to get a hold of you for whatever reason. So Heather, Brooke, you're going to get the Hatching Time gift certificate. And now I need 2 people for some hatching eggs. Blazing Gale, if you're still in the house, you're going to get a 30 count of Egyptians. And then I need some meat maker. Dragon Girl, you're going to get some meat makers. Also, if you guys would, Dragon Girl and Blazing Gale, if you would make sure in your email to me that you comment what your username is here, your YouTube username. I've had people send me the information and I have no idea who they are or what they won because they just sent me their name and I didn't associate their name with that, with the username. So, okay, guys, I want to say thank you very much for joining me today. Really appreciate it. We had a halfway decent crowd for a Sunday. As far as Tuesday goes, I am going to reach out to a couple people and see if I can't get somebody to come on the show with me and share some information with you guys. So keep an eye out for that for Sunday. James, if you're still watching, or I hope you watch, I will be re-announcing the winner of the Coturnix Kids Project on Tuesday if we go live Tuesday. Otherwise, if we don't, keep an eye out on your mailbox because I am going to send your information. I've already got it from your mom. I'm going to be sending that to our sponsors, and they will be shipping your prizes out soon. The only prize that's not going to go out right away will be your hatching eggs. As soon as you get your incubator and get it all set up, go ahead and contact me, and I'll let the shipper or the sponsor know to send your eggs out. So, guys, thanks again for joining me. I really appreciate it, and keep an eye out for Tuesday, or just check in if you see me going live. Have a good one, guys.